This video is supported in part by Retro Days, a place for nostalgia nerds to gather, share memories, chat, and engage. Go to retrodays.com or check their YouTube channel linked below. Hey there, welcome back to Gen X Grown Up. I'm John, and I am a Gen X Grown Up, and this is going to be maybe the quickest and easiest video intro I have ever written. Super Impulse has just started shipping their world's smallest Atari 2600 console under the Tiny Arcade line. It's coming to North America in the next couple of months, but I'm an impatient Atari dork, so I had to find a place to import it from the UK. I paid through the nose, but that's the price of being an early adopter, I guess. Look, I've got it. I want to see what it's like. You want to see what it's like. What are we still doing standing here talking? Let's get after it.
Don't you know that you're a grown up? No games, no puns. Not allowed if you're a grown up.
Okay, here it is. And the first thing I'm going to say is Super Impulse has already done half of my work for me. The shelf appeal alone. These things are going to fly off the shelves at 25 bucks a piece. See the Atari in there. You see the TV and the RF box in the back, the controller. I love the wood paneling in the living room there. I see rabbit ears on the TV. It is the world's smallest Atari 2600 Tiny Arcade. I love that it says 9 Atari games plus a bonus game of Pac-Man. When has the Atari version of Pac-Man ever been seen as a bonus? But I get what they're going for. And it is the smallest fully functioning desktop console game. It looks like they've packed all the instructions right here on the bottom of the box. I can see there's a power switch. They talk about how to select games and use the controller. And around here on the back is another beauty shot of the product and a list of the 10 games that are included. And you can see those are Centipede, Pong, Missile Command, Breakout, Asteroids, Combat, Warlords, Millipede, and Tempest, and plus Pac-Man, which we mentioned. It's a little bit of an interesting choice that 3 of the games, Pong, Breakout, and Warlords, were paddle controllers, and this of course just has a joystick, but it's certainly not the first time that we have played paddle games with a controller, so we'll see how it goes. That is more than enough gushing over the box art though. Let's get inside of this thing. I've got to pause midway through taking this thing outside of the packaging to appreciate, we saw that wood paneling, but look at this. We have shag carpeting down below in those obnoxious orange and brown tones. I can see many collectors picking this up and not even taking it out of this. Like, this is a great display piece on its own. Look how cool that is. But yeah, we're not stopping there. Let's keep getting it open. I am doing my dead level best to stay objective here, but it's not going to be easy. Just what I'm seeing right here, I mean, it almost doesn't have to work for me to say it's worth something. Maybe not the full 25 bucks, but maybe. This review, they've got to tank it from this point forward if they're getting anything less than a good review. So let's take a quick tour of the hardware and see just what there is. Let's start with this cute little TV. So yeah, it looks like every TV I ever had in the 70s. Look at this. So it's got the chunk dials. You got the speaker grill there. You see the monitor is not quite 4x3. It's almost like a vertical monitor, but all right. You got your rabbit ears on top. That makes a lot of sense. Nothing much to see around back. This is the battery door, and let's take it out of demo mode so we can actually play with it. On the bottom is this on-off switch, and that's where the really cool features start. So collapsible fold-out legs, so you can stand up your TV to slide your Atari under it. And this screen around front has a little trick up its sleeve. Check this out. It tilts up for a better viewing angle when you're playing this on a table. Great idea, Super Impulse. I wouldn't have thought of that, and that's a little added extra just to kind of help out with the playability on this tiny device. Directly connected to the back of the TV is a piece that does not need to be here, but it adds that extra wow factor and authenticity. The RF modulator box, little screw posts on the back, and there's that slide switch to go from TV to game. Mine was always on game. Following along that cable, we get to our beloved Atari 2600. Oh, this is just cute as hell. We got the big cartridge on there. This is actually a menu button. And then the little switches, you have the power on off, color, game select, and game reset. All of those are just decorative. I mean, you don't want to move them, you'd break them, I think. But it's got that grill across the top. We've got the wood grain face on there. Moving our way along that wire, we come to our CX40 controller. This stick, it's actually a little clicky. More clicky than a CX40 would have been. There's that tiny button, so control is going to be pretty much, yeah, like that. Like you're going to hold it with your fingertips. I mean, this is a novelty, but what a great novelty. You're not going to shoot for high scores on your favorite games with this, but oh, you'll have fun trying. The button's nice and clicky. The directionals, oh, yeah. But there's more. It actually plays games, as we know, so let's fire it up and see how the games play. Now, I've already turned it on with the on-off switch, but it timed out after a bit of inactivity. But I love that by pressing the cartridge on the console, it powers right back up. All right, Tiny Arcade, press the button to start. Here we are. All right, I see Asteroids, Pac-Man, Warlords, Tempest, Pong, Missile Command, Millipede, Combat, Centipede, and Breakouts. Breakouts, okay. Let's start with Asteroids. A high score? Okay, this is beyond 2600. And that is not the 2600 version of Asteroids, oddly enough. Now granted, this Asteroids is closer to the arcade Asteroids than the 2600 was, but it's odd. This is a 2600 throwback piece. Why you'd put different packages on there? I suppose back is hyperspace? Yep, sure enough. There I am. All right, let's move on and check the next game. Let's try Breakouts. Yeah. All right, now that looks... We have seen that version of Breakout on other Super Impulse titles. So yeah, we want slow, we want a large paddle, and start. Yeah, this is the terrible one that you have to push on the stick repeatedly. Like holding the stick down does not move the paddle. This was on the micro arcade version of Breakout, and it was horrible there. Oh, now look, once I'm in the game, I can just hold down the stick to move left and right. They've improved on this from when it first released in the micro arcade. This has now become a playable version of Breakout. All right. So while not as instantly responsive as a paddle, all right, serviceable Breakout. Not bad. I'm convinced this is not the 2600 Breakout, honestly. It's close, but pretty cool. All right, let's move along. From Breakouts, we go to Centipede. Again, with a high score table. This is not the 2600 Centipede. You can hold down the button for rapid fire. Nice. This is a weird, interesting port. I've not seen this port of Centipede before, actually. All right, an interesting non-2600 version of Centipede. But, I mean, it's Centipede. Cool. All right, moving on to Combat. Atari Combat. Oh, whoa, so here's all the options. Difficulty. Now, what do you mean difficulty? Oh, wait a minute. Have they created single player? Because Combat was a multiplayer game only. There was no AI in Combat. All right, let's just leave it default and start. Ooh, that's pretty hard to see, but it's like I'm the blue tank. The yellow tank is moving on his own. They've created AI for Combat. So I gotta tell you, the screen is slightly more visible in person, but I mean, Combat was pretty low contrast on certain mazes anyway, so. But the fact that I can play Combat single player, clearly it's not the original Atari Combat, but not a bad port. And to let me play against some AI of varying difficulty, oh heck yeah. I want to look at these options right quick. So simple maze, complex maze. So they're taking all the different variations of Combat, and instead of having to go through whatever 30, 40 different levels, you just can pick it in here. Yeah, ricochet and guidance and all that. Okay. Oh, and that's a much more visible map too. Look at that. Ooh, the bouncing bullets. Ooh, got him somehow accidentally. I am not upset that this is not the original Combat, because they have given me something in Combat I didn't have before. The ability to play when I don't have a second player. And since this doesn't have a second joystick, that's pretty mandatory here. Oh, I just shot myself in the face. Well, on that, let's move on. Interesting to add Millipede along with Centipede when you've already got Centipede. I mean, it's not that much different. What the heck? This is pretty close to like an, look at that, in 2019 Atari, this is closer to like an arcade version of, wow, okay, yeah, we're just gonna start at the beginning. Holy moly! All right, low frame rate, but what a good looking port of Millipede from the arcade. Nothing at all like the original 2600 Millipede, but all right, I am normally really a stickler for, it's gotta be the original, and I'm a little torn in this case. This is a celebration of the 2600. You didn't use the 2600 ROMs, but by golly, if they didn't give me some good versions of these games in here, despite it being about, like, I don't know, 5 frames per second, that is a really cool version of Millipede. Wow. All right, moving along. Missile Command. At this point, it's a crapshoot. What version of Missile Command are we going to get? Oh my god, look at that title screen. That's like an arcade Missile Command. Good gracious. This is not, again, the 2600 Missile Command, but I mean, I wonder how many Look at the draw capacity on this. It has so much horsepower compared to the 2600. I mean, I really thought this was going to just be straight emulation, which I was actually cool with. I made it. Look at that, it counts up the score for you. Now, something I haven't mentioned so far is the controls are actually pretty easy to deal with, despite the fact that you're holding the controller just with your fingertips. It's getting the job done. Got my city back. That's pretty cool. Next up is Pong. All right, so Pong was never even on the 2600, so heaven knows what we're going to get. It's just a single-player Pong. Yeah. We had Pong Sports, I think, on the 2600 or something like that, and I mean, this is cute. Look, the paddle even has some acceleration. It seems like it would not be too tough to catch up with the ball, I think. All right, there we go. Let's get a point on him. Scored on him. Nice. Okay, well, I guess I could smack a Pong ball back and forth for another 20 minutes, but I think we all know how Pong works. Let's move on. Another roll of the dice. What version of Tempest are we going to get? Whoa! Okay, what the heck is that? Hit the button. High scores? All right. Pick my starting level. This is... What are these ports? My... Holy crap, that is... Would you look at that? There's no way in hell the 2600 ever did this, but how do I do a super zapper with just one button? Oh, maybe I pull back on the stick like hyperspace? Let's see. Yes. Oh, and you can hold down the button for rapid fire if you want. I'd love to warp here. Come on. Oops. Well, there it is. Avoid the spikes. What a cool little tiny version of Tempest. Are you kidding me? Time for some Warlords. Another interesting port of Warlords, and I'm sure you can only just be one player, so where am I? I get to be the yellow player. All right, can I catch the fireball? I did. Look at that. Nice. Whoa! These are some interesting ports, some of which we have not seen before. At least I've not seen them before, but ooh, look at that. Got one. Got him. Nice. And we're up to 3 fireballs. That's hurt. Oh, he got me. That is really cool. Oh, put in my name. Look at that. All right. So I just put in G. I should have put in GXG. All right. You know, let's quickly find out if the high score is saved. Let's exit and come back into Warlords. The high score is saved. Okay. I've got to power this thing off and back on and see if it truly, truly saves. All right, back into Warlords. It saved my high score. Are you kidding me? That's fantastic. I don't know if in every single game does, but Warlords does, and oh my goodness. The hits just keep on coming. All right, we've made our way around to everybody's fan favorite, the 2600 Pac-Man, but who knows? Who knows what version we're going to get? Let's see. Okay, that's not the title screen of 2600 Pac-Man. Let's see. But it is a faithful port of the unfaithful port of Atari's Pac-Man. Let's see this noise. What an interesting choice to include this garbagey Pac-Man. Look at the Tempest we got, the Missile Command we got, the Warlords we got. We got this Pac-Man. Oh, delicious. Fantastic. First and foremost, if you are hoping for another Atari 2600 emulation collection in the shape of an Atari console, the software provided here might disappoint you. But for my part, the design, the presentation, and 2 games, that old Atari Pac-Man and the single-player combat, that for me is worth the price of entry alone. Above and beyond that though, you're getting a lot more bang for your buck. 10 games for your $25. The 2 I mentioned, plus 8 arcade ports, many of which I had not seen before in any packaging. And of course, there's the package it all comes in, that gorgeous little toy with so much attention to detail. RF modulator, anybody? Come on. If you grew up playing with an Atari, this thing is probably going to speak to you like it spoke to me. To me, this kind of smells like a new arcade collection wrapped up in the skin of an Atari 2600. In fact, I would not be surprised if several of these ports made their their way to a new line of tiny arcade cabinets. I would kill to have a tiny arcade Missile Command or Tempest or Centipede cabinet. Are you kidding? That's gotta happen. If you haven't picked up on it by now, I am a fan of this little gadget, and in fact, I am going to rate it 4.5 tokens out of 5. I'm going to throw a link down in the description of this video where you can go and purchase one of these right now. Look, if you're an Atari fan, just order it. Are you interested in some of the new arcade ports? Just order it. Even if you're mad it's not 2600 ROMs but love the VCS, order it as a beautiful piece of shelf candy. I don't think you can go wrong with this world's smallest Atari 2600. Boy, I sure hope you found something to enjoy in this video, and I will talk to you next time. Bye-bye. Hey, you made it to the end. If you liked this video, the best way to say thanks is to watch one more. Here are a couple suggestions that you just might enjoy. And if you love our content, maybe consider becoming a Patreon supporter by following the link on screen.
Unacceptable for grown-ups. Your dinner cannot just be french fries.